How's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the Movie Castle, and today we're going to be talking about an all-new horror movie, and this will actually be the first 2023 horror movie I've covered, because it's one of the first movies of the year. This is M3GAN, or with the stylized title, M3GAN. Yeah, the E is a 3, that whole leet speech thing. And it actually is, M3GAN, of course, is an acronym, and it was like Model 3. And actually, that's the official title. It's not just a stylization for the poster or anything. If you type M3GAN into IMDb, it'll bring up things like Megan Fox, and it actually wants you to put in that 3 there. So, okay, kind of curious what they'll do for the sequels. I would vote M3GAN and, go down. Make it a planned trilogy. M3GAN, M2GAN, M1GAN. It's a countdown to something. But anyway, this movie came out January 6, 2022, and was released by Blumhouse. The director was Gerard Johnstone, and this movie stars Allison Williams, Violet McGraw, and Amie Donald. This movie was produced by James Wan, who is a really good horror director. James Wan gave us Insidious and The Conjuring, and quite recently, Malignant. If you like over-the-top 80s horror, go check out Malignant. It's nuts. But James Wan, through The Conjuring, we got the new version of the Annabelle character. Obviously, Annabelle was real life before that, but the character got popularized through the Conjuring movies, had 3 of her own movies. So when James Wan pitches a killer doll movie, you see how this got a green light. He does have a story by credit in here, so it's more than just a producer. He's actually came up with the story too. And the story, let's do a brief non-spoilery talk about the plot. I'll talk about the setups, but not the payoffs. So this is what gets the ball rolling, but I won't be spoiling anything really. We open up with this young roboticist, and she gets custody of her niece after her sister and her husband die. So she is okay at being an aunt, but she wasn't really ready to be a parent yet, and the young girl is clearly traumatized and needs help and some sort of structure, but she has no idea what to do and she's not ready for kids. She also has a problem at work. She had this little Furby-like toy, and it just recently got a knockoff that was cheaper. And her boss says, make a cheaper version of this toy so that we can compete, and she can't really figure out how to reduce the features but also make it fun. It just feels like this soulless little toy designed solely for competition. Well, while she's talking to the kid, she gets an idea. What if instead of going cheaper, you made the last toy you'll ever need? So it will be expensive, but it'll be worth it for quality, and people will get this perfect toy, essentially. And she decides to revive her M3GAN project against the wishes of her boss. And M3GAN is essentially a lifelike android that learns from a kid and adapts its coding so it can better suit the needs of its mission. She takes the prototype of M3GAN and has it pair with the niece as the primary user, and it sort of kills 2 birds with 1 stone. She gets her project off the ground, she proves that it's viable and successful, and it helps her career. But also, since she doesn't really know how to raise a kid, we can just let M3GAN do that. And of course, having the niece as the primary user, M3GAN's mission is to protect and help the niece physically and emotionally. But maybe the coding wasn't the best. I mean, it can learn and it can alter its code, but of course you give a robot one mission, it's going to follow that to the T without common barriers that you really needed to program in yourself. So it's going to go completely after that. It's going to start editing its code, and it is going to say, hey, I think M3GAN needs this, and it's going to go too far. Big mistake here. A, you really needed to put in some master controls for yourself that can override everything, what she didn't apparently have implemented. And also B, you gotta put in Asimov's 3 laws of robotics, and you gotta make it where no matter what, M3GAN can't change that. 'Cause yeah, that's going to be a problem, and quite obviously lead to the horror. Now I guess I should mention expectations for this movie. I saw the trailer, and you see M3GAN with her uncanny valley face, which really does mirror a lot of real-world robotics, and I saw that, and I'm like, huh, why has no one made an uncanny valley robot movie yet? Glad that someone got on that. But also, it's Blumhouse, it's a January movie. I went in with tempered expectations and thought, okay, this will probably just be a silly, fun, killer robot movie, right? Well, then as we got the trailers, that whole dance went viral, I was like, okay, there's humor in this movie. What exactly is going on here? And I was kind of curious how, like, would this movie be good? Would it totally suck? And I was kind of anxious to see how this all would pan out. And overall, I think it's good, but it's different than what I thought it would be. And I don't mean different as in the modern Hollywood writer shifting everything on its head. In general, I mean different as in it's better quality and more of a satire on our current world than it is just a killer robot doll movie. And it has a surprising amount of meaning. And I guess that's what we'll get into first. The meaning. This movie talks a lot about technology addiction. The aunt, she says, I don't know how to raise a kid, but I can make M3GAN, and let's just throw M3GAN at the kid, problem solved. And to be honest, how often do we see similar stuff? How often do we see young kids with unchecked rules? You know, kids just carrying around an iPad all day. You know, even when they're toddlers, you know, seeing a toddler who can't talk using an iPad, it's kind of freaky. And we get to see when any distance is taken between the niece and M3GAN, when they try to pull her apart, she gets angry because she is going through withdrawals. It's very poignant, and you have to wonder, will she develop proper social skills? Will she develop as a person as she needs to? So yeah, there is a lot to talk about. You know, you do get iPads in this movie, you do get an Alexa-like device, you do talk about how the previous toy could be paired with your phone and you could virtually feed it, and there were updates every day. And yeah, this sort of technological haze, technological addiction that a lot of us, you know, in part, I mean, I try to work on myself. I know it's a problem, but even then, I'll stay up way too late watching dumb YouTube videos. It is in a lot of us, and this movie talks about its dangers. And I do kind of wonder if it will affect the box office, because I find that when you point out that someone's addicted to their technology, they don't really ever take it well. So I kind of wonder, you know, people want to see the dumb killer doll movie, but how will they feel when they're told that technology is affecting their social skills? I don't know. But anyway, this movie also has a ton of humor. The message about technology addiction is treated with a good sense of satire. There's like, a tech speech that they're giving, and the person has to remind them to put down their phones and listen to the speech about technology. Several fun little puns like that. Also, the bullies and the antagonist characters in this movie are very big and over the top and cartoonish. That way, if they die, you don't have to feel really too bad about that. And also, M3GAN herself gets a sense of humor over the movie. She gets a few lines towards the end that really could be Chucky lines, and I really did like M3GAN's attitude toward the end there. And I think the idea is she's modifying her code and she's learning from the internet, so of course she's going to develop and be super sarcastic, but it almost feels like her just playing her hand and showing how evil she is. But man, M3GAN's lines as the movie goes on and as it gets towards the end, when she's this serious robot voice saying horrible stuff, it does get pretty fun. And as a Chucky fan, I do like her attitude at the end. It was really funny. But also we should talk about the violence. Like I said, a lot of this movie is a social satire, so it's not just a 100% straight up killer doll movie. We do get there towards the end. There is a pretty fun climax, a good battle towards the end of this movie, and I did like it, but M3GAN has to learn and get to the point to want to kill people, so the initial kills are a little more spread out, a little slower. We gotta build, we gotta get to it, which is the mature way to go about it. It makes more sense. That being said, if this was just a dumb killer doll movie, I wouldn't have complained either, because that would have just been fun. But it does have kills and gruesome stuff. We just got to get to there, And another thing people talk about, I heard a lot of people talk about the gore in this movie. And a lot of people think that this may have been censored to get to PG-13. But to be honest, I don't know, maybe. The thing is, though, there is actually some blood in this movie. In particular, this kill that takes place near the elevator. Yeah, there's some blood there, and I'm always actually, with the ratings board trying to neuter everything these days, I get surprised if there's any blood in a PG-13 movie. But also, there's a kill in the forest with a pretty good gore effect. So even though this may have been watered down from an R, there still is something in here, and it's not flat. But yeah, if there is an unrated cut of this movie, if there is a more violent one, put it out on Blu-ray. I'll pick it up. I'll see what's up with that. And yeah, this is definitely an interesting movie. So overall, it may not be the biggest, most crazy killer doll movie. It may not be the dumb fun that you thought it might be from a January Blumhouse release, but it is fun and gets lots of jokes as a social satire, and M3GAN does by the end of it turn into a really fun character. And like I said, there is a good meaning here, which maybe not everybody will be willing to take, because it is about addiction, and like I said, people don't really like that pointed out. But overall, I thought it was a really good movie. It had more meaning, it was funny, and it was overall a lot better than I thought it might be. That being said, if it was just the dumb fun killer doll movie I thought it would be, I would have liked that too. But it's still, I think, a pretty good movie, and I overall really liked it, and I hope we get, like I said, let's do a trilogy. M3GAN, 2GAN, and M1GAN. But anyway, to everyone who's watched so far, thank you for watching. And to everybody that's liked or subscribed, thank you. You really helped the channel out. I'll leave a relevant playlist. It should pop up on the bottom in a minute. This should be my Blumhouse playlist if you want to see me talk about more movies. I talked about the Halloween trilogy they did. I also talked about The Black Phone. That was a really good movie. And I'm also watching a bunch of the Into the Dark episodes from Hulu. and I've gotten through some of those already, so there should be some of those there as well. Anyway, have a good day. I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Blumhouse playlist on the bottom. Have a good day now.